Good morning and welcome to First Take. I'm Roz Golden-Woode. I'm here with Keyshawn Johnson. We got Alan Hahn here, Kendrick, Carry On, Perkins. How we doing today, fellas?
Good. Starting our second shift. See me smiling?
You guys have been here probably 40 hours this week?
No, it's good though. Right, Alan? We like it.
Yes. Yeah, obviously it's better work
No
than
complaints.
not. And any day that you can hear Kendrick Perkins laugh is a good day for me as well.
Did you guys coordinate these outfits? Thank goodness I wore some yellow. Jeez, brighten up.
No, this is just casual Friday.
Sunshine on a rainy day in New York.
All right. We got Kendrick Perkins.
Roz, you wouldn't want to see the bottom half of me. Just the top half looks good. I'm in shorts today. I'm outside
Show
in
us.
Phoenix.
We got to see it. You can't say that and not show it.
No, I ain't gonna show it, but listen.
I didn't even know their names short suits.
I know. I'm just trying not to start sweating like an uncle in church right now. Okay, I'm just trying to keep cool.
Well, guys, I know someone who is sweating, and it's definitely the Bucks. So let's talk some hoops because, boy, the Suns, they played some pretty team basketball last night. Suns held off the Bucks to win Game 2 of the NBA Finals. It felt like watching a fully cohesive Suns team with all 5 starters in sync and scoring in double digits, led by a big 31 from Devin Booker. I watched it. It was like the Suns versus Giannis. Giannis led the Bucks with a whopping 42 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 blocks, and 1 steal. While the rest of his big 3 in Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday combined for 12 of 37 shooting from the field. We heard from both teams.
I said before the series, I'm excited. I'm excited. Honestly, every day I wake up and get a chance to play, in the NBA, the league that I've been watching since a kid. So I try to not lose sight of that. Fortunate, both of us are grateful to be in this situation, and we definitely don't want to take it for granted. So it's an everyday thing for us.
I'm still the same guy. I'm just a little bit older. More mature. I know what I want. I want to win. And I want to enjoy the game as much as possible. In this situation, I understand, there's so much, pressure from the whole world, from the fans, from this. But at the end of the day, it's not about just us individually. It's about the whole team, everybody that worked to be in this position.
Booker became the 4th player over the last 25 years with 30 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists in an NBA Finals game before turning 25 years old. The other 3, Kobe Bryant, Russell Westbrook, and Dwayne Wade. So, Keyshawn, I'm going to start with you. Suns are up 0-2 in the series. Is the series over?
No, I don't think so. Now, look, if somehow they drop 1 in Milwaukee, the Bucks that is, then yeah, I would say that. But right now, no, it's not. I think when you look at it, they held serve on their home court. They did exactly what they should do. Giannis played best he could play. He gave them 42 points. Everybody else needs to step up to the plate. But now they're going home. The home crowd is behind them. We saw Milwaukee in the past come from two games down deficits and win. So I think they can do it again. But they cannot afford to lose 1 at home. They've got to figure out how somehow to get these 2 games on their home court and then go back to Phoenix. If they lose 1 of these games, then at that point in time, I'm ready to surrender and say that Chris Paul gets his first NBA title.
History says the series is over, at least the majority of the time when you go up 2-0 in a series in the NBA Finals. Almost 90% of the time, you go on to win the championship. But as we know, in any playoff series, Perk, you know this from your own experience, really doesn't get started till somebody wins on your home court, meaning a road team gets a win. Then all right, something's going on here. And that's what makes now the series moving to Milwaukee so important. I mean, I know I'm going Captain Obvious with you. A must win in Game 3 because 3-0, nobody ever comes back on that. But also, to me, the confines of being in your own building, one thing we won't get is a crowd counting when Giannis is at the free throw line. We won't get that. We won't get a crowd encouraging Giannis to shoot threes. In fact, if I'm in Milwaukee and he steps up and he starts to set up like he's going to shoot a 3, we're all yelling, no, don't shoot the 3. Obviously, that's not a strength of his game. Supporting cast role players, supporting cast players generally play better when they are home. The Phoenix Suns role players, Mikal Bridges was that guy last night. They were very comfortable in their building with their loud crowd. I'm curious to see what it's going to be like in Milwaukee. Is the series over? Of course it's not over. But history after 2-0 is suggesting to us it's pretty close.
Well, Alan, forget history and forget everything else that happened in the past. I want you to tell me what your own eyes are seeing. And what my eyes are telling me is that the Phoenix Suns are the better team. The Phoenix Suns are the smarter team. The Phoenix Suns have the better coach. They have better leaders. They have better overall players. And with that being said, this series is over. Am I saying the Milwaukee Bucks are going to get swept? No, they probably win 1 or maybe 2 games. But far as winning the series, the Suns are winning this series. I don't know if it's in 5 games. I don't know if it's in 6 games. I don't know if it's in 7 games, but they're going to win this series just because of their IQ. I look at everything. I look at body language. I look at post-game interviews. You know what I'm hearing from Devin Booker? You know what I'm hearing from CP3 in a post-game interview? The job is not done. You look on the Milwaukee Bucks side of things, you know what I'm hearing? Oh, I'm just happy to be here. We haven't made it since 1933, and we're happy to be here, and we just want to have fun. And you see Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday smiling last night after they played the worst of basketball of their playoff career last night on the biggest stage. And then you hear Mike Budenholzer, right? Dressing pregame in the locker room, and he tells his team, go out there, play, have fun, play freely, play in the open court. You know, just like I'm sitting up here looking at the TV saying, what? Are you serious right now? So with all that being said, this series is over. This series is over. I'm not saying the Bucks are getting swept, but the Suns are winning this series hands down.
So then it's not over then if they're not going to get swept, Perk, right? I mean, you talk about, you mentioned the fact that, hey, they were smiling or they were acting a certain way and they didn't have the same post-game press conference type of swag that you saw the Phoenix Suns have, which is true. But they are on the road and they are losing. Don't you think that if they win and they're at home, that conversation in the post-game with those reporters asking silly-ass questions, that it would be totally different when they win and they're at home, the way that they would approach the game, or better yet, approach the press conference after they get a W in their pocket? I think so. That's why I'm not ready to just say that they don't have an opportunity to come back and win this entire thing when we've seen them now do it to Brooklyn. And I know, oh, yeah, Kyrie got hurt and Kevin Durant was an inch away from sending him home, but he didn't. Oh, the Atlanta Hawks, this, that, and the other, but it didn't happen. So I don't know how we can say after 2 games just right now that it's a wrap, it's over with. Let's get through game 3 at least before we make that determination.
Perk, before you speak, I just want to jump in quickly because I do think that the way a team talks in post-game, attitude reflects leadership. I do think a lot of times players echo what their coach is saying. We know Coach Bud has always been that way, that even keel, stick to the process, stick to the program. But when you said something about their IQ and how dumb they have been playing, that also is an indictment on coaching. And that, to me, is what I want to see when this series moves to Milwaukee.
Well, guess what? You're not going to see it. We're talking about a coach in Monty Williams. But, Alan, I'm going to get to you in a second. Let me get to Key. All right?
Take your time,
so
Perk.
It's a
Take
difference.
your time, Perk.
Keyshawn, my brother, it's a difference in making it a competitive series and saying that the series is not over. I'm not sitting up here saying that the Bucks can't make it a series and extend the series, because they can. But at the end of the day, the one thing that the Bucks can't change is their basketball IQ overnight. Either you got it or you don't. And when I'm looking at this Phoenix Suns team, they have 5 guys on the court. And I'm talking about their starting 5 that play with an extremely high IQ. When you see a ball moving from side to side, the way that they move the ball, the way that they were demonstrating last night, player movement, ball movement, giving up their bodies, cutting down the lane, knowing that they're not going to get the ball, but to free up other guys to get a wide open shot. When you see chemistry like that, when you see a team that's gained rebounding, knowing that they're small. At one point in time, they had Jay Crowder playing the 5, and they were still getting offensive rebounds. They were still getting defensive rebounds and getting out and running. When you see a team tied together on a string like that, it's no coming between that. And that's the difference between them and the Milwaukee Bucks. How many times have we came on here, or how many times have people been saying, including myself, why are the Milwaukee Bucks playing this type of basketball? Golly, my God, why do they keep taking these dumb shots, these ill-advised three-pointers? Why they're not attacking the paint? It's not going to change overnight. And through all the other playoff series opponents that they face, they haven't seen one like the Phoenix Suns.
All right, you cooked me.
Guys, don't forget. I mean, they say it's not a series. It's not a series until someone steals. So far,
Roz,
the
who
Suns
is
took
they?
care. I don't even know. But so far, I mean, technically, the Suns took care of home, and we know how quick a narrative can change if the Bucks take care of home. Don't forget, they came back from being down 0-2 against the Nets.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm just putting it out there.
There was a really big injury that happened on the way to coming back down
Put it out
0-2.
there.
They fought.
Perk, you were great this morning. We're going to bring you back in the show, but I know you're going to take a break right now. I know I don't know if you're sweating. You got to take a shorts break, but we're going to bring you right back. Thank you so much for your insight.
Oh, I got my AC unit right here to the left.
Thank you, Perk. We'll bring you back in a bit. Appreciate
All
you.
right, thanks.
Flashback, Patrick Mahomes, he joined the show yesterday and discussed the Chiefs' Super Bowl loss to Tom Brady and the Bucks last season. Obviously, the comparisons between Mahomes and Brady have already become increasingly prevalent with the Kansas City quarterback's rise. Here's what Mahomes had to say about stacking up with Brady.
Is there a bit for you of a rivalry? Is there something in your mind where you're like, I'm chasing this guy, I want to be greater than him, better than him? Can we one day have that LeBron-Michael Jordan debate with you and Tom Brady?
I mean, it's still early for the LeBron and Michael Jordan stuff. But for me, if you're in this league, you're trying to win. You're trying to be the best player on that football field every single day. Tom's done it for a long time, and he's won a lot of Super Bowls. And so when you're coming up and you're watching football, you want to go out there and win championships like he's done. And so I'm going to try to do whatever I can to every single year, put us in position that we can win a lot of championships, hopefully.
So, guys, simply, is it too early to compare Mahomes to Brady, Alan?
No, that's why I asked the question, because like you said, it already is starting to become that conversation, because we see somebody of his generational talent. And when you see him and you think to yourself, what can he become? This guy's special. We could see it. He's already got one ring early. He probably should have had another one of that offensive line. He wouldn't say it. I don't blame him. But if that offensive line wasn't compromised, they could have won another Super Bowl easily. So he's on his way. It's now a matter of what do the Chiefs do to make sure that this happens. It's so similar to the Jordan and LeBron comparison. I was covering the NBA as a beat writer at the time when LeBron was coming up, and that was before he even won a ring, before he even left Cleveland. There was already the talk of the chosen one, the tattoo he has, the number 23, the player he idolized when he came into the league. And the thought was, is this the next one? Is this the guy that can be the next Michael Jordan? So that's where it started. And then it became, well, he's got to win a championship. Once he wins one, he can win a bunch of them. And that certainly has happened, and that conversation continued. In sports, you're always chasing ghosts. In everything we do, we chase ghosts. Who do we want to be like? Who do we want to be better than? And I do think that's legit here. I don't expect Patrick Mahomes right now to say, yeah, I think it'll be a great debate. LeBron didn't early on. He is now. LeBron talks about it now more than ever because it's legit. And I think for Mahomes, the talent's there, the potential's there. We like to write these narratives. It's so, like, the parallels, Key, are there. Phil Jackson was the same coach with Michael Jordan as they won their championships. Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, same thing, of course, until Brady went to Tampa. But in this situation with the Chiefs, will Patrick Mahomes have the same coach throughout his career? Unlikely because of Andy Reid's age. But can he stay with the Chiefs? The contract says he will. Can they build around him and keep a contender so he can reach that status where 10 years from now, we start having the debate? Not say, can he catch him? But now it becomes, who's better all time, Mahomes or Brady?
I think it's way too early to just even have that conversation. I understand it's what sports, it's what we do. Being in the sports media, yes, you want to compare people, you want to start looking at things, trying to break individuals down. It's too early. And I know, yes, he could have won the Super Bowl if the offensive line was intact. Yes, he could have gone to another Super Bowl if it wasn't for an inch or a hand crossing the line of scrimmage against the New England Patriots. I get all that. There's no question. It could have been 3 in a row. Absolutely. But the one thing about Tom Brady, as Alan mentioned, 20 years with Bill Belichick. One guy, one coach for 20 damn years. 6 Super Bowl wins with one coach. Andy Reid ain't hanging around for the next 17 damn years. Eric Bieniemy probably will not be the next head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs because he's going to eventually get his own team in the National Football League. So as that thing starts to kind of fall apart as far as the coaching staff goes, then you think about Travis Kelce. He's not going to play forever. Tyreek Hill's not going to play forever. Patrick Mahomes, as a quarterback, they play a very long time. Can they get a new coach in there, recycle things, all of that? And can the rest of the AFC just stop and hope? Let's admit, Kansas City has got the penthouse and the roof deck with the pool. Everybody else is below them in the AFC. But there's teams in Seattle. There's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There's the Rams. Okay? There's the San Francisco 49ers. There's the New Orleans Saints. They're all getting better. Now let's switch to the AFC. Buffalo's not going anywhere. I believe strongly Indianapolis will be a better football team with a new brain in Carson Wentz. I don't know that Tennessee is going anywhere. Oh, by the way, the flavor of the month is the Cleveland Browns for a lot of people. They certainly continue to get better. I could go on and on of why. Oh, by the way, there's a guy in LA in the same division named Herbert, the quarterback from Oregon. Pretty damn good. Pretty good. If they can stay healthy, what does that do in terms of challenging the Kansas City Chiefs within the division? Oh, might I mention, because we can't forget to mention the guy who just played golf named Aaron Rodgers that could potentially wind up in Denver. Does that make Denver Broncos a better football team? You damn skippy it does. Now, what does that do to Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes? So when you start to look at all these sort of things, to catch Tom Brady and be compared to him or LeBron James, one player in basketball changes everything for an organization. One player in football, and I know you point to Tom Brady, go, well, Tom. No, he landed in a perfect situation. This was not young Tom Brady taking over a team and building it. That team was already built. He brought enthusiasm and wisdom to an organization to win the Super Bowl. I don't know that Patrick Mahomes is going to catch Tom Brady and LeBron James and Michael Jordan. It's hard as hell to win a playoff game in the NFL, let alone a number of Super Bowls. Y'all need to stop.
You need to be special. He is special. You need
Of course he's special.
You need to be a magnet. He is a magnet.
Of course
he
he's
is
a
a
magnet.
talent. You know what you named? When you named all those teams that are the supposed contenders for his greatness over whatever it is going to be the next 10, 15 years of his career, what's the one missing element? Him. It's Patrick Mahomes. That's what
It's
makes him
not
different. You can't put him in the
Alan.
same
This is
basket
not
as all these
Michael
guys.
Jordan and
Keyshawn,
LeBron
your
James.
argument-
Football is a total team game. You've got to have
But you
22
need that one
players
guy.
plus a whole coaching staff that know what the hell they doing.
You're right
Your
about that.
argument diminishes the fact that Tom Brady and the Patriots had to overcome some great teams as well, did they not?
No,
That's right.
no.
And they didn't win every
you're
year.
undermining the Patriots' success. They had hella players: Willie McGinnis, Teddy Bruschi, Lawyer Malloy, Ty Law, Deion Branch, Corey Dillon. I mean, I can go on and on.
Which is why I
Gronkowski.
said it's on the franchise.
Stop.
It's on the Chiefs
Every
to make sure
team-
this is a conversation.
Alan,
10 years
every
from now.
single
but you've got a guy that you
every
can
single
put in that
player
category.
relies on the organization to be successful. Do you know how hard it is to win one playoff game? As much as we love Patrick Mahomes and how great he is, he may never ever win another championship, man. And they may win the division every single damn year.
I'll tell you what.
It's not hockey.
This is not a hot take.
I'm just
He
being
will
honest.
win another
He
championship
probably
in his
will,
career.
but the chances
He
are
might win more.
he may.
It all depends on how
But-
they keep that team around him, build that team
It
around him.
does-
But it can happen. And
the
if I'm- tell you
Buffalo
what, if
Bills
I'm
went
working
to
for the Chiefs-
4. Jim Kelly is in the Hall of Fame. 3 or 4 players. Let me think. Andre Reed, Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Bruce Smith, Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Thurman Thomas, Hall of Fame. Jim Kelly, Hall of Fame. None of them have Super Bowl rings, and they went to 4 straight.
Because one guy went wide.
Hard as hell, huh? Y'all act like, Ross,
What?
be nice here.
No. See, he did the y'all thing. That means
No,
I'm in it. I'm with Ellen.
People act like Super Bowl trophies are like damn M&Ms. You can just cut it open and it fall everywhere.
No, you see,
it
you're
does not work that way.
No, because that's now what you're trying to put on me is if I'm trying to say it's easy. What you're trying to say is that Patrick Mahomes isn't that special?
No, I'm not.
He's
no, I'm
special
not. He's
compared to everybody
special.
else.
He's
What
as
happened
special
during
as they
Brady's
get.
run? You had Drew Brees win
You know
one. You
who
had
else?
Rodgers win one.
Hold on. You know who else is special? That dude just played golf. Most talented quarterback we've probably ever seen.
The franchise?
The franchise manchise. They've been to 2 NFC championship games. They got a ton of talent. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for the narrative. They don't have any players. That's not true.
Keyshawn,
Did you want to go to Green Bay when you had a chance
But
to
they
go to Green
had.
Bay?
all I pointed out is that in your
cold.
argument, you tried to say that Patrick Mahomes' journey to being as great as Tom Brady might be more difficult and less likely because there's more contenders in the way.
Absolutely.
And I wanted to ask,
Absolutely.
was the journey for Tom Brady's all of his Super Bowl wins, did he and the Patriots and the Bucs not have to overcome great teams as well?
They had to overcome good teams. Think about the AFC East. They won every year for how many years in the AFC East? Buffalo
The
down,
division was
Miami.
so
The
bad.
division was down. So they was already set up to have home field advantage a lot of the times or have a bye.
But look at
doesn't diminish anything. It's just facts.
The era of quarterback that he played in, too. You think about I mentioned him, Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger, Eli Manning, the guys that won, multiples. But the amount of great quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, the great quarterbacks that he had in the league at the time. It's not like they won every year, but they won a life. Felt like they won every year.
But you act
they
like
won a
like
lot.
there's not great quarterbacks now. Like seriously, you act like Russell Wilson isn't good.
Russell Wilson-
Everybody is propping Matthew Stafford up with a new team
Wilson.
in LA. Josh Allen just was an MVP type quarterback. A guy in Baltimore just won the
Once
MVP.
again, you're putting everybody in the same bucket. I'm not doing that with Patrick Mahomes.
all right.
Generational talent.
All right,
Okay?
guys.
I'm just saying.
Just to put a button on this, coming back to
For
the
a guy, here I go. For
Put
a
it-
guy who caught a bunch of passes from a quarterback.
Putting a button on this, coming back to the original question here, is it too early to compare Mahomes and Brady? I personally think the conversation is gimmicky. I think it's premature.
It's premature.
I think it's premature.
Yes.
I think it is low-key insulting to Tom Brady for what he's accomplished, and I think it's limiting to what Mahomes can be. And so, over the course of time, let's see what Mahomes can
I think
do.
it's fun.
You're in media.
I think it's and I
just think it's
still
fun.
way early. It's too early.
early.
Let this dude play a few more seasons and get
All right,
back to
we gotta
something.
go. We gotta go. And what Brady accomplished is crazy. Like, come on, we may never see. It's gonna take. Anyway,
Media dudes.
still to come. Media. On first take, there will be. Oh man, there'll be no fans at the Olympic Games in Tokyo. Guys, is it time to wonder whether this year's Olympics should be canceled? Plus, we already heard from our guy Big Perk. He comes back in just a bit with a scorching hot take that you've got to hear. Oh my, stay tuned and carry on. We are weeks removed now from Philly being bounced in the postseason by Trae Young and the Hawks, but Ben Simmons' woeful performance is still on the minds of many. As Ben heads into an offseason to work on his shot and perhaps a new mentality, his teammate Danny Green offered another solution too. Phillies fans, they gotta be better.
You think the crowd and Philly can have an effect on somebody like Ben Simmons in those moments?
For sure, it has an effect on everybody. And I think that's something that needs to change in the city. I love our fans, but when things aren't going well, they can turn on you. That's the one thing that I would disagree with or dislike. But some guys use it as motivation, some guys a chip on their shoulder. But I think that needs to change somewhat. They need to be riding with us regardless of how things are going.
Alan, Keyshawn, I don't know about you, I'm riled up about this. Alan, do the fans have a responsibility to stay loyal to the team no matter what?
They are loyal to the team. They're loyal to winning first. They're loyal to success. So I mean, I have many different takes on this, and the first one is fans are not helicopter parents. Helicopter parents is like the kid can do no wrong. There are certain players that just a fan base embraces, sometimes irrationally. We've seen it here in New York, but a lot of different people, you're like, really, this guy? But they absolutely just love him. He can do no wrong, and it's everybody else's fault why he didn't have success. But a lot of times, there's a guy who will come in as a star, Ben Simmons being one of them, and the expectations are high, and early on you coddle him because he's a young player. And then as you start to, okay, you got to start getting that level that we have set, that bar that we have set for you. Well, you're not reaching that bar. And then we're hearing some things about you and your off seasons and how there's work that you should be putting in. Here's the other thing about fans that, now this part's irrational, where when you go on social media in your off season and you talk about a vacation you're on, or maybe you're going to like go into the studio and, cut a track or whatever it is, what do people say in the comments? Get in the gym, work on your free throws. Like all people care about is that stuff. So it's coincidental that Philly is a city of brotherly love, and what do we do as fans in Philadelphia? But we treat you like you're a younger brother. We'll beat you up, but if somebody else does, now we'll come to your defense. But the Ben Simmons thing goes beyond all that. The Ben Simmons thing has become a frustration that he's allowed to get into his head. So should fans only cheer for their team, their home team? No, you cheer for results. That's what you want. That's what you are as a fan. I want you to win and help my team win. And if you're keeping my team from winning, you're going to hear about it. And that's what's happening in Philly right now.
I think you, as a fan, you're supposed to support your team and the player that is on your team to do the best that he can possibly do at that point in time. No question about it. What happens with Ben Simmons is you're now getting into his head. Now you're playing mind games, but yet and still, you want him to win. And you want him to bring home a championship, but you're booing him. You're being negative. So when you run him out of town and he goes somewhere else, and all of a sudden he turns into something different than what you had, you'll start to blame the coach in the organization, but not yourself as fans for treating people a certain way. I'm not one. I'm not a fanboy. Nor am I a helicopter dad. To a degree I am, but not really. And so when I look at it, I say to myself, Ben Simmons struggles at the free throw line. He struggles shooting the football. That's confidence. The basketball. That's confidence. You're not helping his confidence by treating him wrong, whether it's social media, booing him, doing bad things, saying bad things. It just doesn't help the situation, because what do athletes say is, I don't want to be here now. I'm out of here. I don't want to be around these people. This is ridiculous. And so now you're getting into his emotions week in, week out, night in, night out. So he goes to management and he says, I want out. Now the first thing you start to say is, he's not good. Oh, he's boring. Oh, look at the crybaby. Well, help create the situation rather than understanding why he's in this situation. It's not all about he's not shooting free throws in the middle of the night. Maybe it's psychological. Maybe you're playing a part of it by treating him a certain way. Support is key. Support the player as long as he's on your team.
I'm supporting you with tough love, Key. That's what I'm doing. I'm supporting you with tough love.
But maybe he's not built
I'm letting
like
you
that.
know this is not good enough. You're better than this, and I expect more out of you.
It's not your job. You're not the coach, and you're not the organization.
I'm a fan. I'm more
sits
important.
in the seat and try and cheer him on and motivating versus booing him and talking negative.
That's what you want
all the time.
It's okay. You'll make the next one. Don't worry about it, Benny. It's fine. Shoot another. It's okay.
I didn't say you had the
You're not getting
softball.
that.
I didn't say you
I'm
had the
watching a playoff game. The process was supposed to have gotten me a ring by now.
You don't have to go.
You are an
and
entitled fan.
Yeah, he's so a fan. You don't have to go and be that internet guy on social media in your little.
Oh, that's where I'm going
You don't
next
have to
after
do
the game. Oh, you're hearing about it after the game. I'm going to start packing out right now. I'm going to go right to your Instagram.
You don't have to do that.
You played. If a fan base boos you, will you have loyalty to that city?
Yeah, I had loyal to this city, and they booed the hell out of me constantly. Constantly.
Wait.
I just kept playing.
On.
I didn't pay them people no damn attention, girl.
1 in 15 boos, right?
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Now hang on.
1 in 15. They had the head, the paper bag on the face. The guy takes the paper bag on the face, screams at all of us, looks at me and go, "You two, you suck. You're the worst. Get out of here. Go back to California."
Waste of a draft pick.
Waste of a draft pick. I didn't listen to that because mentally I'm strong enough not to pay that any attention.
But what happens, let's fast forward from 96 to 98. Bill Parcells is there and you guys go to the conference champ. That whole season, that same guy, was he still doing that? Or was he going, great job, Keyshawn, great job? What a great pick that was.
He's a turncoat, though.
No, it's not a turncoat. That's a fan. It's short for fanatic. We're nuts. This is what we do.
I guess that's what you do. I just never paid attention at that level to fans. I don't pay attention to social media. I don't know if Ben Simmons does. It certainly seems like there's things that get in the way of Ben Simmons based on those sort of comments that's being made. And now everybody wants to run him out of Philadelphia. It's just,
hey, listen, your coach and the whole coaching staff and the front office, their job is to keep Ben Simmons' head in the right place. Their job is to make sure that his weaknesses turn to strength. My job as a fan is to demand the performance that I'm looking for that night.
If you demand the
I want my
performance
team
that
to
you're
win.
looking for, you pay good money for your seats, you want to see a winning product put on the court.
Yeah, I give you all my
What
emotions.
does it serve you to be negative and over the top, hiding on a screensaver or whatever the hell
That
that
makes me feel better. I get it out of my
At the
system.
game. You didn't pay good money to demand what the
No.
performance is.
My fandom is not about the money I spent on the ticket. The money I spent on the ticket, my demand is on the performance of I came to see a good show. I hope I get one. My demand is my emotion that I devote to you as a player and a team where I'm investing myself.
We gotta wrap soon.
I invest myself into your team and you as a player.
Control
and I want to get paid
I
back.
want to give you a hard question then, because I see where you're coming from with all of this. Literally 2019, I was following the 76ers run up until the Raptors. Second round, so they're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Second round of the playoffs. Imagine.
That was the whole process thing for the first time we really started to see it. Right.
Imagine other fan bases whose teams aren't even in the playoffs. They're in the playoffs. Game one, those Philly fans booed the 76ers. They're supposed to be the wind underneath their
Philly
wings.
people, though.
That's
Now,
Philly.
was that
Philly's a little
wrong?
different.
Was that wrong?
Absolutely.
Santa Claus.
Thank you.
Game
That's
one.
what I wanted to know.
Yeah, game one. Listen,
Game
I'm from.
one.
Now, let's not get. I'm not from
Philly
Philly.
fans booed them.
I'm from New York. All right, and
I'm
so
from New York.
so yeah, you're from New York too, so
no
you
difference.
understand where we're coming
Yes.
from. New York.
Same
Knicks
thing.
fan.
Like here's the great example. I'm going to
Same
do it.
thing.
I'm going to do it, Key. I'm
Same
bringing up
thing.
the Knicks right now on first take. I'm going to do it.
Same
Come
thing.
on, Nick.
Because the Knicks got to the playoffs for the first time in about, 75 years? They haven't been in the playoffs in forever, right? And they get to the playoffs, and they play the Hawks, and everybody's like, the Knicks should beat the Hawks. They don't. But what did the fans do when that series ended? Was it booing that
No.
team, or thank you for a season we've been waiting for, can't wait till next
It's
year?
an intellectual fandom, and that's a difference. You boo bad effort, but you don't just boo anything.
Yeah, the game one doesn't make sense.
That was whack.
But with
Shame
Ben
on
now,
you.
the
Shame on you,
frustration,
Philly fan.
is coming because this process thing is taking long enough. You're supposed to be a star leading us to a championship, and you're holding us back, and that's
I
where
hope
that
he
anger
goes
comes out.
somewhere and just lights the world on fire.
You
Hey,
want him to go to the Lakers, don't you?
We
I
can
think
use
Ben
him, I'm
Simmons
sure.
got a lot of potential. I'm a big fan. I hope he works it out. All right, guys, let's take a break here.
Good player.
A star-studded USA basketball team will be going for the gold in Tokyo, but without any fans present. Will the games lose their luster without fans? We debate that next. Plus, there's nobody more polarizing in sports than Conor McGregor, right? Or is there? Keyshawn has assembled his top 5 sports figures that are both loved and hated. Stay
on that
tuned.
list?
In honor of working the 2016 Olympic Games in Rio, Brazil. Some of my favorite memories from the Olympics were the traditions, the rivalries, and the energy of the fans. I will never forget the outpouring of joy, of tears, sometimes of agony, the singing and dancing as a representation of the pride of nations, the essence of which makes the Olympics larger than life, epic, and wholly encompassing worldwide. The 2021 Olympic Games in Tokyo will take place without spectators, as a resurgent coronavirus forced Japan to declare a state of emergency in the capital that will run throughout the Games. Not only will that affect the overall ambiance of the Games, it begs the question, if it's too risky to have fans there, should we be concerned for the athletes in attendance as well? So Alan, I'm gonna start with you. Should the Olympics just be canceled in Tokyo?
No. And the reason why you don't cancel the games is because we've already postponed them for a year. And what you're now doing, if you cancel them and just wait till the next Olympics, which would be, I guess, 3 years from now, would be you're telling athletes who prepared for this year's games and then waited a year to prepare again and continue to train themselves and to hold off, make those sacrifices in their lives for this opportunity. Some of them, opportunity lost. Sorry, can't go. We're not going to have one this time around. spectators are obviously an important part of sports, but not having spectators in competition, it's not a necessity. Sure, it's a necessity for the business. You're going to lose millions. Of course you are. But for the athletes, they lose a lot more. They lose part of their lives. They lose something they've been working for, some of them almost their entire lives. Think about it. So no, canceling the games, to me, what you're doing then is you're walking away from what the games are all about, what the games are originated from. Competition, who's the best in the world. People will be watching on TV. In fact, probably a lot more people will be watching on TV. But to not have the competition, then you take away the spirit of the games. Don't do it.
I guess what side am I on, Ross? Who am I? Am I the Olympic Committee, the city of Tokyo? Am I an athlete? Like, where am I at? Because when I look at it, let's assume that I am part of the city and it's a investment. And the reason you bid on these things is to bring revenue to countries, cities, states, things of that nature. Money is generated. There's an investment that goes into it. There's an infrastructure. There's hotels. There's ticket sales. There's all of those sort of things. So if it was me, based on those sort of things, I certainly would try and halt everything, stop it, figure out if we can rebid again for a third time and come back around 3 years from now to do it. Because I can't think about the athletes if I'm Tokyo, if I'm the Olympic Committee that's spending money. I can't think about the athletes. I got to think about stopping the bleeding of monies that's being spent and not a significant return. Now, if I'm the athlete, I want to compete. I want to go ahead. I'm here already. I'm ready to go. I've trained all year, 2 years basically, I've trained to compete. How does that affect by not having fans in the stands? Some athletes, in particular track and field, they get energized off the crowd, the noise, the fans, the woo coming down the 100-meter dash at the last 20 meters, that noise, that feel, that vibe. They're not in there. So what would it look like? What is it going to truly feel like? I've never competed in the Olympics, but I competed at a high level of all sports. So I know what the fan base does for me in that energy, especially in individual sports. So if I'm an athlete, I want to keep going. If I'm the city, the committee, people that have money at stake for this, I want to stop it so I can stop the bleeding.
Yeah, the money part is going to be the thing that gets in the way, right? They already had capacity capped at a lot of these venues. They weren't going to let international spectators come in as it is. They've already had limited a lot of things. The other concern you could add to this, I think against my impassioned plea for athletes, is to protect the athletes. Who's to say that they're in the Olympic Village or whatever bubble they create for the athletes? You get one positive, shut it down. Right? And then how much money do you really lose if you do then have to deal with that, where you have to shut it down or even shut down an entire, like this sport, we're not going to play now. Take this sport now out of the Olympics. We start adding the asterisks. So, look, as we've been learning over the last 18 months, we haven't experienced this. We don't know what we're doing through a pandemic. We learn as we go.
Yes.
But I just feel like if there was some other way. It's so close to the games, that's the frustrating part. Because what you could say is, instead of having the Olympics all in one place, let's do the basketball competition like in the U.S. Let's do swimming, in Brazil or places where the virus isn't as impactful as it's being right now in Japan. That's the only thing I'm thinking of is, can we find a way to hold the games and the competition without having it in the all one place setup that the Olympics typically are?
But that becomes problematic as well.
Oh, now, of course it is.
Now,
venues and everything else not available.
You've got to try to figure out how to place everybody, where everybody goes, if there's enough hotel rooms, practice facilities. It's just
logistically impossible.
It's almost impossible, especially.
But if we had more time
frame.
If this was a decision you'd made in, earlier, like in the spring, you got a couple of months to kind of, put something together.
But a couple weeks, I don't see it happening in a couple weeks.
No chance.
I personally immediately think about the athletes who have been training and perhaps, 3 years from now could age out, or this could be their last shot at competing.
Well, I've been sacrificing all these things in my life. I want to start my life. I can't just keep waiting for Olympic competition. I lose it now.
On the other side, though, like, you're willing to take this risk to make it happen. You feel for the athletes, but it's only okay until you're in the Olympic Village, until there's an outbreak. It's only okay until someone gets COVID, but they come back, or if someone gets COVID and they really get sick, or if they've somebody dies and the most elite athletes in the whole world are there.
Could you not
imagine?
push it off for one more year? Could you not do it, postpone it for one
I mean, Keyshawn, at this point, it's like a global pandemic actually happened to planet Earth. We as humans might need to humble ourselves a little bit and let this thing go.
You know, it's sports. You know how people are about. They'll figure out any way to get it in. Rain, snow, pandemic, whatever. Think about what we just went through. Game's on. Nobody in the stadiums. We don't care. We're going to play. They'll figure out how to get it done because that's what we're built on. We're built on sports. We like that sort of events. We want to embrace. They figured out in the NBA. Oh, we'll go down to Orlando. We'll put a bubble. We'll still get our championship game in.
Right.
No matter what anybody says.
And that would have to happen until you'd have to have a bubble situation.
We had empty stadiums for football just to play the game to get to the Super Bowl.
With digital
we pulled it off, but
thank goodness for technology. I mean, it's crazy. We'll look back in history and say, boy, it was important we got those games in.
Yeah. Right. It's a good thing we got that Super Bowl.
Right. Anyway, let's wrap this up and take a break. We're going to go back to some basketball outside of the bubble. It's in Phoenix. They're going crazy. If you're a Phoenix fan, your team is up 2-0 in the finals. And if you want even more to be excited about, Phoenix fans, stay tuned for a scorching. And plus, what on earth do Conor McGregor and Tim Tebow have in common? Good hair? I don't know. Keyshawn Johnson will explain when we return. And that's a comparison you will not want to miss.
Stop me now. I'm having such a good time. I'm having a ball.
The Suns are off to a hot start in the NBA Finals, led by veteran Chris Paul and his 27.5 points per game during this series. The team also has a bright future with young stars in Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. Big Perk has some thoughts on this Phoenix team in his latest edition of Carry On.
Carry on. Tell Stephen A. and Max to keep a cool booty while I address this situation, all right? No, Max, that's Max. Stop, just stop. What Max telling me? Stop it, Max. Stop it. What, Max? What are you talking about? Calm down. Hold that L. Hold that L. He better knock him down. He's a professional. Bro, put some respect on that man's name. We lost our mind debating with you. Yeah, you lost, all right. They want all this smoke. Carry on.
What's up, Perk? Welcome back. Let's hear it. Carry on.
Well, here it is, Rise, Allen, and Key. Look, sit still, okay? Because some of these people out here in the world are sheep. They like to follow the crowd. They want to be in the herd. But guess what? I'm a jaguar. I like to hunt from up top in the trees. I like to pounce on my prey and not let them see I'm coming. And that's why I'm coming with this take today. The Phoenix Suns are a dynasty. They're a dynasty in the making, shall I say. When you look at what makes up a dynasty, a young superstar, you need one. You got that in Devin Booker, who's only 24 years of age and haven't even scratched the surface of his prime yet. You need a co-superstar, a rising star. They have one in DeAndre Ayton, the #1 pick in the 2018 draft, who's only going to get better. He's a walking 20 and 10 guy. You look at the others, Mikal Bridges, 24 years of age. We know what he do on the defensive end, but now he's coming along offensively. By the way, he still haven't scratched his prime yet. And then you look at a guy like Cam Johnson, 6'7", 6'8", wing guy, lights out shooter, but coming along on the defensive end. He's only 24 years of age. What else do you need to make up a dynasty? A young coach, a young good coach at that. They had that in Monty Williams. He's not even 50 years of age. And last but not least, you have Chris Paul and Jay Crowder, two vets that still have 3 years left. 3 years left of playing at this level in their career. So when I look at this Phoenix Suns team, I look at this fan base that they have created, this culture. They are eye candy now to all around the NBA to come here and play with these young up-and-coming superstars. This is why I say the Phoenix Suns are on the verge of being a dynasty. Carry the hell on.
Well, Perk, man, you know, I don't usually disagree with you, but on this one, I would say no. And here's why. The West is only going to get stronger, as we know. There's a lot of injuries happening in the West. Those dudes coming back healthy. No question. They're going to add players. And, yeah, they got young players in Phoenix that can ball out. There's no question about it. When you talk about dynasty, dynasty. Think about that word. You need at least 3 championships in 5 years to even start to talk about dynasty. Maybe 4 and 7, 4 and 6. Maybe you win one, go to a conference final, lose, go back, win again, lose. I don't see that's happening in Phoenix. I understand they got a young coach that's young, who's still innovative. People want to play for him, all those sort of things. But you keep forgetting, there's teams in Utah, there's Denver. LA got 2 killers right now in teams. Am I missing anybody out west? Oh, wait a minute. Golden State. Klay Thompson will be coming back. And I think Draymond will have something to say to you for saying what you said. And then I think Steph Curry would say something. And they got assets to go get other pieces to go along with them. So I just look at the West. Then you got Brooklyn in the East. I'm sure Philly gonna get their act together. Milwaukee's still hovering around. We see what your old Celtics went out and done and what they're gonna do. Miami's gonna steal somebody's star. Dallas, oh, I forgot them out west too. So I'm not ready to say that they are going to be a dynasty or a dynasty in the making. Just get this one championship this year and let's just go from there.
Perk, I need you to do me a favor. You know that air conditioner you have next to you keeping you cool right now in the Phoenix seat? You got to crank that thing up a little bit because I think you're getting a little bit of a fever right now. You're getting fever because of what you're watching. You're prisoner of the moment. You love what the Suns have become with the team. And everything you laid out, 100% correct. You did your homework. You have your facts straight. There's nothing about what you said that is wrong other than this one fact. To do a dynasty, you got to win one championship first to get it started. They've got to get this one. They have the coach, yes. They have the young star. They have the high draft pick that is developing in the big man. They have the veteran in CP3. They have some role players. What are they missing? An owner who likes to spend. An owner who would be willing to go into the luxury tax to keep a team like that together. Ayton's going to have to get paid off his rookie deal eventually, and he's going to look for max money. You already have Book It max money. CP3's got another $40 million coming to him next year, and then you might want to keep him around a little bit longer beyond that and not let him walk away. Mikal Bridges might want to get paid now. Campaign might want to get paid now. Do you have faith? I have faith in everything you said about the makeup of this team being a team that can contend in the West for a number of years. What I don't have is the demonstrated performance of ownership in Phoenix to pay for that, because the luxury tax, as you know, gets more expensive the deeper into it you go, and they have not shown that in their past. In fact, the last time they had a team to feel good about with Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire and Mike D'Antoni, 7 seconds or less, that broke up. Why? Over money.
That's quite a counter.
Man, you know what? You know what, Alan? Man, I hate to kill you like this in this moment because you came off so great. You came off like you was about to kill Big Perk. You told me to turn the AC unit down, but you failed to mention one thing. The owner has stepped aside, and they have a black general manager in place. Ooh. By the way, a 3-time champion named James Jones, who's running the show, who was built under Pat Riley in that Miami Heat culture, who went to Cleveland and went to consecutive finals. Was part of one of the greatest championships of all time. Remember, he put this roster together. He drafted these young guys except for Devin Booker. He's the one that came here and changed the culture. He hired Monty Williams. He signed a great signing for a signing trade in Torrey Craig. He brought in Jay Crowder from the Miami Heat. He knows what it takes to stay under the salary cap, not spend too much money, but build a championship roster. At the end of the day, you need 2 superstars. You already have one in Devin Booker. We know he's one of the most prolific, efficient scorers in the game today. The guy could average 30 in the season without a doubt. He could give you 50 on any given night. DeAndre Ayton, he's going to be a future All-Star, a future All-NBA player. At the end of the day, you could build around those guys. And the last thing to you, Allen and Key, they taste blood. The worst thing in the world can happen for young guys at this age is that they go through this and win a championship early. Because once you get this feeling, you don't want to go back to the old days. You want to keep winning. So they're going to keep getting better. They're going to continue to grow, and they're going to continue to strive. And by the way, this city is behind them 110%.
Let me jump in here. Producer, can I get the camera? I want to jump in here because Perk, and I want to see Perk too. You're killing these guys. So let me jump in with a
Oh, I didn't know James Jones wrote the checks.
I
didn't know the GM wrote the checks.
Every counter, Perk is on point right now. Perk is on point. So here's my question, because a dynasty leads longevity. We know that Chris Paul has been playing his way into all sorts of belief and more money, a bigger contract. He has a chance for it. Do you think for the long-term view for a dynasty that this Suns team could replicate this success, or has the tools and the players to be able to do that should Chris Paul not remain on the team in the future?
You know what? I do. And here's why, Roz. I'm watching how he rubbed off on them. Now I'm watching in the huddles. Chris Paul is not the one that's doing the talking. Devin Booker is the one that's doing the leading right now. You watch how Devin Booker is carrying himself in the post-game interviews. He's the one leading the charge right now. We watching his sit-downs. I'm sitting up here saying this guy has an old soul. So with that being said, CP3 then came here and he then took these guys to a whole nother level, not just on the court, but they mental growth. And when you have that type of establishment, and when you come and you leave your mark on this type of guys with this type of talent, it's special. Again, Roz, I'm gonna say this: these guys are 24. Devin Booker is 24. DeAndre Ayton is 22. You don't reach your prime until you're 27.
But Big Perk, tell me what your definition of a dynasty is, because I'm confused. Because to me, you got to win multiple championships. Like the Lakers and Kobe Bryant and Shaq and then Powell. You got to do it like the Miami Heat did.
It starts with three. Dynasty starts with three.
It starts with three.
Yeah, not two.
Three.
So you're saying it's too early. You're saying it's too early.
I understand that. I didn't say that they were a dynasty. I said they on the verge of becoming a dynasty.
I understand that.
The question is, are the Suns the next NBA dynasty? And I said yes, because they're going to win this finals, and then the future is bright. And I just broke it down to you.
So let's break it down this way then, because what Allen was saying, I agree with. The general manager Jones don't write the damn checks. I'm the owner. You got to talk to me about giving my money away. I understand. You decide.
If I got one ring, I'm pretty good with that.
Yeah, it's cool. I got one. I'm good. I'm not giving you an open checkbook. I'm in this business to make money.
One thing. Well, let me tell you something. One thing that I've learned from being around sports for playing the game of basketball is that winning solves everything, okay? And once an owner get a taste of winning, once an owner get a taste of this feeling, he's going to want to win every year. So he's going to pull out his checkbooks. Was that a good enough answer?
So you telling me?
History
so you
says
telling me
no.
the Phoenix Suns gonna win this year? Let's give them that one, because I think they are gonna win. I'm gonna give them that one.
Agreed.
So you telling me over the next 3 years they're gonna win 2 more championships?
I'm saying, Key, it's a possibility. I'm telling you that, yes, it's a strong possibility. This team is going to continue to grow. These young stars are going to continue to get better. They're going to continue to attract free agents, and they're going to be right there in the thick of things to win a championship. I'm telling you.
Forget
yes.
Golden State, Denver, and
somebody get Perk some iced tea.
Yeah, Perk.
Get him a cold rag for his neck.
Yeah, man. Get a cold rag for your neck, man.
I told you I was a Jaguar.
Oh, God.
I told you I was a Jaguar.
Don't put your feet in the pool or something, man.
Of all the Wildcats, you said a Jaguar. That was fun. That was something. Perk, we appreciate the hot take. Actually, I personally don't even think it's that spicy. And one thing I'll point out about this up-and-coming Suns team, unlike some of these super teams that have been plopped superstars together, this is an emergence of a team that has developed young returning players through the draft. Through the draft, and that's very impressive. That is organizational success. Good job, Monty Williams. All right, we're going to move on. All eyes on McGregor this weekend. He's one of the most polarizing figures in sports right now, but Keyshawn says he's got 5 names in mind that are even more polarizing. Stay tuned. Plus, NFL kickoff is just 2 months away, so close that we can taste it. We wonder which second-year
Don't give a rat's ass about him. He's Buster Douglas. He's Buster Douglas is what he is. And that's the way he's going to go down. He's going to be known for that. It was a fluke win, and I'm going to correct it on Saturday night. I'm a lot assert. I'm going to kill this man. I said I'm going to take him out in a stretcher. He's going out in a stretcher in this fight.
The highly anticipated UFC 264 Poirier versus McGregor 3-main card will stream exclusively on ESPN Plus PPV this Saturday, July 10th at 10 p.m. Eastern. And Conor McGregor, he's known to be a highly polarizing figure in sports right now. And Key, I think you know something. You have something to say about polarizing figures in sports?
Yeah, I got my top 5. Let me slide on over here real quick
Top 5.
and break out my top 5 polarizing players in professional sports. And not all players. Some are not players. Some are family members of players. One is even a coach. So let's start off at number 5. And you probably say to yourself, why you got this dude on there? Well, LeVar Ball, think about it. He raised amazing kids to go on and play in the NBA. And he put it in everybody's face. He just decided, yo, this is how I'm doing it. I'm rolling it out. I got my sons, Melo. I got LiAngelo. I got all them doing what they're supposed to do. And his son is Rookie of the Year for the Charlotte Bobcats right now. So that's polarizing. And he had a shoe company that kind of just...
Charlotte Hornets.
Man,
The
Bobcats, Hornets, same thing.
What
man.
decade are we in?
I know, right? Hornets. So that's polarizing at number 5. Number 4, for me, is a guy in Coach K.
What?
Now, you say, why Coach? Everybody loves Coach K. Not true. They hate Duke. People hate Duke.
People hate excellence.
This man went on and had 5 national titles. Jay Will actually helped him win one of my co-hosts on my morning show. But then he got 6 gold medals. And you talk about that and the way he coaches, his style. He runs the ACC. He pretty much runs the men's basketball in general in college basketball. So they hate him for that reason. And then at number 3, Kevin Durant. You think about KD. People just, for whatever reason, they don't like my man. My man is fire.
Yep.
The Slim Reaper. Like, it's ridiculous. He just all guts. And people don't want to give him no glory at all whatsoever about his ability on the basketball court. They hold going to Golden State against him. Hell yeah, you go to Golden State and win championships. You join them if you can't beat them. Why not? The reason they won those championships because the MVP in those final games is Kevin Durant at number 3.
All facts.
Number 2 is Tim Tebow. You laughing right there. Tim Tebow.
Isn't he a nice guy?
Is he not polarizing? Think
Yes,
about it.
he defines polarizing.
And when you think about it, he was drafted in the first round by the Denver Broncos when 99.9% of people who watch football and follow it said, man, what the hell is Josh McDaniels doing? Then he gets opportunity after opportunity. He goes to Major League Baseball and Minor League Baseball. The Mets give him a shot. Then he says, well, that's not going to work out. ESPN, we hire him. Good on TV. Works great for us. And then he retires, the whole deal, out of football for like 19 years. Then all of a sudden, Urban Meyer gets hired. He goes and gets a job at the New England as a tight end with the Jacksonville Jaguars. People like, man, what are y'all doing? And it just went crazy. Twitter world, everything went bizarre. Tim Tebow at number 2.
Number 1.
Number 1,
Gosh, here we go.
LeBron James.
Wow.
LeBron James. People dislike this individual for no apparent reason whatsoever. Actually, there is an apparent reason, right? Because he did it the decision. That started everything. He leaves Cleveland, goes to Miami. He makes the decision that he wanted to make, which I think he should have made based on his relationship with the ownership group in Cleveland. Goes to Miami, wins. He leaves Miami, goes back to Cleveland, delivers them a championship after burning his jersey, treating him so bad. Then he goes to LA. We embrace him, even though I didn't want him at first, just because I'm a Kobe guy. And then I had to just kind of wrap my arms around LeBron. He gives us a championship, but more than just basketball. He creates more to vote. That became a problem. Anytime he built one of the most amazing schools in our country where kids academically is excelling at one of the highest levels in our country. No credit for that. They mad at that. And he just says what he says and does what he does. All that becomes polarizing. So This list goes with Conor McGregor. Clearly, he would belong on the list.
Right.
But I wanted to give 5 outside of Conor McGregor. And now I'm not on the list. I know many people say, where am I at? Why am I not on the list? What about OBJ? What about some of the other professional athletes that are out there? Can't put everybody on the damn list.
No, you know what? I was going to bring up Odell only because polarizing is the word. Villains is a different thing. I don't know if we have villains anymore in sports. In a rivalry,
What's a villain? No, explain to me what a villain is.
Okay.
It's that guy. It's the bad guy. Everybody roots against
Dennis
him. No one
Rodman.
likes him. Dennis Rodman for a while.
Dennis Rodman, people like Dennis Rodman. Just
then they
different
started
people.
to like him.
Right.
Reggie Miller, ultimate villain.
Well,
Ultimate
villain,
villain.
especially to you.
I think, you know who I think has
and
that
some other
potential?
teams too.
Trey Young has villain
Trey
potential.
Young is a great. It's a
has
great
villain
example. His
potential.
fan base
But I
loves him,
love him.
but everybody on the outside is like, man, will you stop with the shoulder and all this stuff and the shush? Don't shush people. But on this list though, yes, like Odell when he
I
comes
can't believe
back
I
this
said the
year.
Bobcats. Hornets.
It's all right.
Bobcats, Hornets, whatever, man.
It's the same
Keep one
family.
damn name.
Bob Johnson loves it. You said Bobcat. So LeVar Ball, I don't know if he's polarizing anymore because if you notice, he's really
quiet.
gotten quiet.
Well, he don't got nothing to say. His sons are doing
quiet.
it. You don't got to say nothing when it's understood.
Until his son winds up in L.A. when he leaves Charlotte.
Look,
then it'll be
But
all
this
good again.
But was he wrong? Did he speak it into existence?
He wasn't
certainly
wrong.
did.
No, he
LeVar
was
Ball should
right.
be celebrated
He believed
in
in
many
his
ways,
boys,
what
and
he's
they
done.
are successful.
No, he look, man. Whenever you have 3 boys that go on and have opportunities to get free educations, let alone they all didn't finish college. They entered and they never.
Well, 2 went to college,
but they didn't finish. They left early or whatnot. The case may be. Whenever you have 3 sons to put on professional basketball uniform, I don't give a damn at what level it is. It's professional basketball. That's saying a lot, man.
Respect. What about Tom Brady, y'all?
Yeah, that's another
Excellent,
name.
but people think.
Well, you know what?
Yeah, but
controversy.
I don't think
would
he's
like him now.
polarizing, though. I don't think
Why?
he's polarizing. Because
Americans don't like excellence. Look at the
Yeah,
list you
but
made.
he-
All these guys are great.
yeah, everybody is great. But Tom Brady
Sounds like
is
we
not.
some haters.
Tom Brady is not polarizing.
You know
who I could have put on the list? I didn't. Cam Newton. Cam Newton is polarizing.
He's getting,
Oh, okay, I'll give you more
Major.
polarizing. What about Floyd Mayweather?
really good one.
Yeah.
You know what it
I
is with
respect
Floyd
the
again?
money
Floyd's kind
of
of been
what
out of
he's
sight, out of
created.
mind. Yeah.
See, I kind of left him off the list because of a bunch of other stuff.
Right.
That's why
Right.
I didn't want to. I just didn't want to put him in that category.
I mean,
Coach K, though, we love Coach K. He's going to have
I
his
like
last
Coach
season
K.
farewell.
I like
y'all
him,
don't
but
like
a lot
excellence.
of,
That's
a lot
what this
of people,
list says to me.
you're right.
A lot of people
Haters.
is jealous of the success
Yes.
that Coach K
This is a hater
has had.
list.
Duke is squeaky clean. Now, I mess with Jay about it all the time. Oh, y'all just so perfect and do top 5 of college and this. And that's not necessarily true.
Right.
Even though they believe that.
Yep. All right, one more person since we're talking Duke. J.J. Redick would say he was one of the most
When
polarizing
he played
figures
college,
at
he was.
Duke. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
Grayson
All right.
Allen was the same
All
way.
right. Yep.
Like
Yep.
oh God.
It's basically a top
I wish
5.
I played
like,
against Grayson Allen.
Couple
America's
elbows.
haters list. All
Oh
right.
man, we wouldn't have finished the game.
Keyshawn, Flowers. That was a nice list. Great job up there.
Thank you.
Everything was great except for the
Still think you
Bobcats.
should be on that.
I know, Bobcat.
If Rodgers is traded
Hey,
from
man, we
Green
all
Bay,
Thanks.
Jordan Love will have some huge shoes to fill. Would he be the sophomore quarterback under the most pressure in 2021? That's what our guys are going to debate next, so please stay with us.